KidTime StoryTime. The title of this book just intrigued me so much that I had to get it so I could read it to you.
What? The princess who had no kingdom? What could possibly be appealing about that?
Well, Fuchsia Fish, I think that it goes contrary to what we all think about a princess having.
Yeah, I mean, you never heard of a princess without a kingdom of some kind. I mean, listen, let's be direct here, shall we, storyteller?
Okay. What do you have to say, Fuchsia?
Well, I mean, you can't live in a fifth-floor walk-up rental in Bushwick and call yourself a princess, can you?
Well, what if you can?
You are seriously blowing my fish gills right now?
Let's see. Let's see if she has a kingdom, maybe? Or is it an unconventional kind of kingdom? I'm intrigued, right? I mean, don't you sometimes feel like a princess or a prince, but you don't necessarily own your home? Probably your parents own it. Let's see. Once there was a princess who had no kingdom. She had a pony called Pretty, though she did have that, and she had this cart, which is quite lovely. And every day, the princess would drive her pony and cart far and wide, looking for her kingdom. Okay, so she's searching for it. And in the meanwhile, she's carrying a lovely chair and a candelabra and a vase with some flowers and tea for later and a bird in a cage and a frame, and there's her lovely parasol and there's another tea kettle for the second tea. Oh, she's got a few lovely things, and this is very pretty. And she does have a pony. I mean, that is kind of step one in being a princess. Well, when it rained, she put up this red umbrella to keep herself dry. And everywhere she went, people would call out, "Found your kingdom yet, princess?" And the princess would smile sadly and shake her head. Everybody agreed that even if she didn't have a kingdom, she was a true princess. To start with, she looked like a princess. And apart from that, wasn't she called princess? Okay. I mean, everybody makes a very good point here. If you call her princess and she looks like a princess and she acts like a princess and she even has a horse. Well, the princess who had no kingdom was not rich like most princesses, but she earned a little money by taking in her cart awkward parcels that wouldn't go in the post. Things like ostrich eggs that were about to hatch, or troublesome things like lame dogs or unruly grannies. And everywhere she went delivering the parcels, she was always on the lookout for her kingdom. Look at that, she's delivering an ostrich egg right there, and here's some parcels and somebody looking out to see if they brought a package, and there's an unruly granny there and some dogs. So everybody's watching out for the delivery from the princess. Well, she's looking out for her kingdom in between parcel delivery. "It must be somewhere," she used to murmur to Pretty the pony. "You can't be a princess and not have a kingdom." And Princess would nod her head up and down in a wise kind of way. This book is so pretty and so pink and black. The princess who had no kingdom was very polite, and every time she passed the royal home, she would stop to say hello. One day she trotted into the Dowager Duchess Wilhelmina's courtyard. The Duchess frowned when she saw how beautiful the princess was and prodded her court jester away. "Give this to my son, Prince Polo," she commanded, handing him a bag of gold. "And tell him to go boating for the day." Ah, you know why? The Duchess did not want Prince Polo to meet the princess in case he fell for her. And what use was a wife without a kingdom? Ooh, that had to hurt. Bet it happened to her a lot. Everybody wants her to come with some property already. The Dowager Duchess summoned her 6 daughters. Oh my, 6 daughters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To come to tea and have tea with the princess. This princess right here. That's our girl. Oh, let me scooch over. Oh, almost missed her there. Let me open up the book a tiny bit. There we go. It's a little extra wide. Well, they gave her tea in the second best tea set and second best cookies to eat, because this is what you get if you're a princess who has no kingdom. But the court jester told her his very best joke not his second best joke. And the princess laughed and laughed, though the Dowager Duchess didn't get it. I wonder what the other girls thought. Well, I guess they're busy enjoying their second best cookies and second best teas. It still looks quite delicious though, and that cake, hello. Before the princess left, the 6 daughters took her to the royal wardrobe and gave her all their old dresses.
You don't mind hand-me-downs, do you?
The princess thanked them because she could get a good price for royal cast-offs. Oh, she is a businesswoman, this one. She's already thinking resale market, eBay. And the court jester gave her a pair of his red tights because he thought her feet looked cold. Oh, that's sweet. Look at that. She's wearing them already, right down there. See that? She's wearing her red tights. Then the princess, and there he is handing him to her. Oh, that's a very sweet, thoughtful gift. Then the princess collected Pretty from the stables where she was sharing a wisp of hay with a dark-looking horse. That's pretty grand, Pretty, the princess said. You've made a friend. And away they drove to sell the royal cast-offs. But the princess kept the red tights. Ah, because that was a gift from the heart. And the other ones, those dresses, those old royal dresses, you know they fetched a pretty penny on the second-hand market, especially in New York City. Girl, that's a good place to go get your second-hand royal dresses. Not long after, the princess dropped in at the public library, as she often did, to read the newspaper. I love a well-read princess. It said, the newspaper that is, that the prince of the land was going to be crowned king that very day, and all the royal families were expected to be at the coronation. The princess ran and tied primroses in Pretty's mane, and she took the red tights to wear. We'd better gallop, she told Pretty. Oh, we shall miss it. So they did. There they go. And they arrived in time to join the procession of golden coaches and the silver coaches and the smart carriages carrying all the royal families to the coronation. But, no one there was expecting her. Who are you? Hissed a harassed courtier. The princess who has no kingdom, she replied. And he bowed a half bow. You only get a half bow if you don't have a kingdom. And he fetched a stool for her. No kingdom, no chair. Who's that? The crowd asked, craning to see this beautiful princess. Just then, the prince came in to be crowned. When he passed the princess, he gave her a friendly wink. Look at that. It's a long way up there, isn't it? And everybody's dressed in their finest. And there's the ladies with their hair all upswept and powdered faces and flowers in their hair. Afterwards, party time! You know coronation isn't complete without parties. The band struck it up and everybody was dancing the night away. They were probably playing a mix of pop, rock, and dance music, a little rap thrown in. Well, the princess loved dancing, and she danced most of all with the new king. Oh, is that what is happening right here? Look at her in her red tights, looking as graceful as a ballerina. And there is the freshly coronated king. Her red tights flashed as she spun on the polished floor. She had a ball at the ball. All the other princesses in their hot, fashionable dresses seethed with envy. How could she be having such a good time? That dress is so last year. Why would she choose her? Why would he choose her? I heard she has no kingdom. Harumph. Double harumph. Triple harumph, harumph, harumph. When it was time for refreshments, the other princes crowded around the princess. Offering her delicious food and asking her who she was. The princess who has no kingdom, she told them, and I'm looking for it. Look no further, said Prince Polo, dropping to one knee. Marry me and have mine. And the Dowager Duchess Wilhelmina fell off her chair with horror. Thud. His piddling little kingdom, shouted Prince Gordon of the Gorge. Share mine, princess. Mine is twice the size of old Polo's. Well, Prince Polo was furious, so furious he crammed Prince Gordon's nose into a cream horn. I asked first. It's lucky for you, replied Prince Gordon, glaring at him through jam and cream, that I have not brought my battleship with me. Pooh! Cried Polo defiantly. Look at that, a cream horn fight. The new king saw what was going on, and he shouldered both of them aside. He bowed to the princess. Take my kingdom. He kissed her hand. Compared to mine, their kingdoms are but swampy tennis courts. Well, the two princes were so enraged, they pelted the new king with pastries. Oh, this is the most delicious fight ever. The king wasted no time in bombarding them both with crumbly cakes, and soon everyone there was at it, which seemed like a terrible waste of food to the princess. Oh, all those flying desserts, what a brawl. Invite me next time. So she just slipped away and found Pretty pawing the cobbles in the royal stables. You're right, she told Pretty. Time to leave. These royals are only good for a bun fight. And away she drove. Toot, 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 toot. Cloppity, 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 clop. In search of her kingdom, letting Pretty choose the path by the light of a moon as yellow as a buttercup. As the bunnies watch, and that bunny watches, and that coyote just watches. You know, everybody's just letting her go by. There's an owl. Ooh, ooh. And oh, fireworks at the end of the night. Guess she missed those. That happens when you leave early. By dawn, see, the light is coming up. They'd crossed the border, and at sunrise, Pretty drew up alongside a dark-looking horse standing by a cart in the ditch. A young man with hair the color of soot was trying to pull it out. The color of soot, that must be black. So the princess gave him a hand, and together they soon had his cart on the road again. Thanks, princess, said the young man. Well, said the princess, since you've guessed I'm a princess, can you guess where my kingdom is too? I've been looking for it for years. Here, he said, and patted the left side of his chest. Aren't you that jester fellow? The princess asked, peering at the jester costume under his coat. See? He's the jester. He's the one who gave her the tights. You're the jester from the Dowager Duchess's palace? Was, he said. My contract ran out, but you are the queen of my heart. So here, he said, tapping his heart, is your kingdom. That's all very well and good, said the princess, but we really need a kingdom to bring up the children in. Children? Stammered the jester, taken aback. Well, this is all moving quite quickly, I agree. But are you proposing marriage to me? Yes. Do I have to do everything around here? I mean, really, if she has your heart, what do you think is going to happen? And look at that, under the beautiful blooming flower tree, they declared their love. Well, the jester didn't answer right away. Being, a guy, sometimes they get a little bit of cold feet, especially if they think the princess is rushing. Well, he walked off down the road and into an inn. Well, thought the princess, that's that. Feeling suddenly sad, she climbed up on her cart. Walk on, she told Pretty, but Pretty didn't budge. She had her nose pressed close to the dark horse's nose as if they were deep in conversation. Then the princess heard laughter, coming from this inn over here. And in no time, the jester was back in with a hat full of coins. Oh, so he was in there telling jokes for money? Money for old jokes, he said. Let's eat. Let's, she said with a smile for him, like the sun coming up, like this sun right here on the corner. This is how we'll work it, the jester explained later with his mouth full of bread. I'll do the jokes, you cart your parcels, and together we'll make a go of it. And that's what they did. But the princess, well, still hankered after her kingdom. You know, the heart wants what the heart wants. And sometimes the heart wants a place to call home, a place to call your kingdom. But I do like that they are an enterprising pair, are they not? Thinking of ways to make money and have a family. One day, a parcel arrived from the library. I love the library. Inside the parcel was the princess's red umbrella. Isn't that grand? She cried. I couldn't think where I'd lost it. But they knew exactly where to send it, the jester said, and read out the label. To the princess at here, there, and everywhere. He snapped his fingers. That's it! The princess looked puzzled. That's your kingdom, he explained. Are you telling me that I'm the princess of here, there, and everywhere? He nodded. Oh, no, I'm not, replied the princess firmly. The jester looked downcast. If I found my kingdom, the princess told him, then that turns me into a queen. And you, she said with a smile like a rainbow for him, are the king. Let's go and take a look around our kingdom, said the new queen, and her king smiled back at her. And away they went, the king and queen, the queen and king of here, there, and everywhere, off to explore. And as time passed, they found themselves making room in the cart for children. There was a little black foal running by Pretty's side on long, knobbly-kneed legs. Look at that. They had a boy and a girl, and there's their dog, and there's the two horses, and they had a baby horse, which is what they call a foal, but I like to call them baby horses myself. And look at that. And you know what? You know what? Do you know what? They lived happily ever after.
Oh, storyteller.
What's wrong, Fuchsia Fish?
You got me. You got me right in the gills. Oh, I did not see that coming. He was so sweet, the jester. He was no prince, but he told a good joke and he made a good living. And he didn't mind that she didn't have a kingdom. But then, yes, out with it. I get choked up. Then they found their kingdom together. Oh, this is the most romantic story ever.
Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Well, kid, I have to say that The Princess Who Had No Kingdom turned out to be one of my favorite stories that I have ever read. And while it's not exactly a twisted fairy tale, it is what you call
a fraction fairy tale?
Yes, that's, I think, what it is. It is just a little bit different, a little bit broken from the usual storyline.
Ergo, the fracture?
Exactly. Nobody broke a bone or anything.
Or a fin.
No, exactly. But I like the variation, and I like that she went with somebody who gave her his heart.
Oh, I'm melting over here, and I'm a fish. We don't melt.
All right, kid, I hope that you loved it as much as I do. See you next time on
Kid Time Story Time, where sometimes we get a little bit romantic.